Hello, Internet family. Happy Spring Equinox. My plan was to go to the park, but there's this beautiful bridge here. It's called the Shakespeare Bridge in Los Feliz, California. And it was raining a little, and so perfectly there was a parking spot right here. So I parked it. I'm sitting in one of the little towers. It's so lovely. See, like that. It's fun. It's nice. Okay, so I pulled a few cards. And rather than making you guys wait as I shuffle and do all the things, I pulled them ahead of time, and so I'm just going to report to you what I found. And this is carrying us from today, the spring equinox, through to the summer solstice. So this is as the days are getting longer, as the year is moving forward, as we're kind of expanding and starting our projects and aligning with whatever it is that's ours to do. Who knows what it's going to be? This is that time, okay? So, the story, what's going on, is the tarot card. This is the deck that I use, Tarot Illuminati by Huggens and Erik Dunne. I love these cards, and you'll see why. So the story, the theme of this time that we're going through right now, from spring equinox to summer solstice, which is in June, is the Fool. I've been pulling this card all the time lately. I love this card. It's the very first one in the deck. And the Fool represents the soul of the traveler that goes through the whole deck. So it's kind of that divine spark within, when that divine spark decides to go off and have an adventure all on its own, rather than just swimming in the infinite and being part of the infinite. There's a moment where that divine spark says, I'm going to go take this trip. And of course it's going to be beautiful, of course it's going to be terrible, of course you're going to feel all the emotions and go all the way around existence, but you're into it. And also there's something about that ignorance is bliss factor too, because they do say that fortune favors the bold, and it's not who does the best that accomplishes, it's who does the thing at all. So many of us talk and talk and talk, don't actually do it. So you don't have to necessarily have everything in place before you dive in. If it feels like it's the right time and things line up for you, go ahead and do it. Okay, that said, I have to read her description. So this is from the perspective of the Fool. This is kind of the Fool's song, and I love the way that Huggens writes these, so I had to read this to you. And you can go ahead and feel free to look at the card, see any personal synchronicities or free association you can use to use it for your own life. Okay. The Fool is the infinite possibility of chaos. Before the beginning was even a seed of an idea in the mind of God, it was my step that trod the virgin paths from the center of the sun. What did I desire? Nothing. And everything. I am a blank slate waiting to be written upon. A cup waiting to be filled. Yet, we cannot wait at our point of origin and hope that illumination will find us. We must take the first step, and only then will the path begin to unfold before us. I stand at the center of all possible paths in the universe, yet even I must take one step. It is that single step that pushes me headlong into life, immerses me in the wonders and trials of the world and all it has to offer, and I take it all gladly and joyfully, because all is experience and none of it may be discounted. Some will tell you to look before you leap, but I say, take the leap. Do not limit yourself in fear and convention. Let me show you. Let me take your hand. We are here on the precipice of the journey, at the edge of reason and the edge of possibility. Don't be afraid. Only have joy in your heart and laugh as you feel the cliff edge falling away from you. It is done and cannot be undone. Welcome, fair fool, to the journey. So this is the go for it card. Go for it. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect. You don't have to wait for every single detail to line up. You don't have to wait to feel like you're fully prepared or you have everything fully done, or just take the leap. It's time, obviously, because that's the story. Okay, so that said, the masculine and feminine aspects of the situation. I used for those these two card decks, which I have combined to make into one. Goddesses and Sirens and Gods and Titans by Stacey DeMarco, illustrated by Jimmy Manton. Amazing cards. I love them lots. I inadvertently pulled two goddess cards and one god card. This is the masculine, this is the feminine. I thought it was only one of each, but this ended up being two. So let's start with the feminine side. We have Hecate and we have Oya. Okay, so Hecate is kind of the goddess of magical women, like the patron goddess of witches. And she lives in the underworld. She is the torchbearer. You see her all over the place in culture, because although she lives in the underworld, she actually lights its way. She lights it for you. So she's a great guide. She's a great inspiration as far as being able to go into the dark places masterfully and without fear, and in a way to help others. She's a wonderful guardian, like I said, and you see her all over culture. For instance, the Statue of Liberty is that energy. I forget which motion picture company it is, but there's a woman holding a torch, that same energy. You see her all over the place. Even in the end of the movie Moana, my favorite scene when she realizes that the bad guy is actually the good guy. Again, that same imagery of a woman holding a bright light and everything else going silent, her lighting the way. It's beautiful. I love this card. Okay, so this represents the women in your life, your feminine side, whether you're a woman or a man, gender-wise, and also, or any other combination of those, and also just the feminine aspects of the world you're going to see. So we have a light in the darkness, illumination, certainty, education. And then we also have power. Oya is the goddess of storms. She brings change. She and her many daughters keep the secrets of magic for the culture that she's from. And she is a lightning goddess. Fire and storms and epic, epic change. When you need stuff moved around, shaken up in your life, you call on her. So you've got illumination and change under this guy, new journeys. Okay, so this is what the feminine aspects are doing. And the masculine aspect, this is something that comes up all the time for me lately, is sleep. Sleep. Make sure you are getting enough sleep, giving yourself enough sleep. And also, this came to me just as I was pulling these. Make sure that you are giving the people around you time enough to rest. Now's the time in the world where kind of, we've been activated and we're doing our stuff. But every single person doesn't have the same specialization that you have. Although it might be really, really easy for you to go on this thing that fascinates you, or for whatever reason you want to, don't expect that everyone else will necessarily be like that. Make sure you give other people time to rest. Inspiration powers us a lot, but all of our areas don't necessarily match up. So it's important that you go easy on the people around you and don't push anyone too hard. Let divine frequency carry us all through, but mostly get enough sleep yourself. It's one of the things, it's an epidemic, the lack of sleep. Many of us don't get enough sleep, so make a point to get as much sleep as you need. Okay, now three more cards, I'm sorry. First one is the physical world. What are things going to look like in our physical world? And this I pulled from the Lenormand deck. And that's what Lenormand gives us. It gives us the physical world. This we have the moon. So think about the moon in the sky. She lights the way, but she lights the way only reflecting the sun's light, so they say. And she is stunning in her beauty. I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but my whole life I've just loved to look at the moon. I remember being a little kid in the back of my parents' car, and the moon would be big and bright out the window. And I would be craning my head around in the back seat trying to see where the moon was because I loved it so much. I just loved looking at it. But be aware that it's watery, it's emotional, and so make sure that you are very aware of what's yours and what's other people's. Especially if you hang out around other people a lot, it's easy to kind of get a little too fluid on what's yours and what's theirs. And so make sure the things you're working for are things that you actually want. Be okay with being in the public eye because it's time for you to shine. However, also be aware that even as you're shining, other people's judgments of you, whether they be positive or negative, is about them, not you. You're just reflecting something. Okay? So, physical world. Finally, two more. One of them is who you're going to be, your role. And for this card, I always pull from the Magic of Flowers Oracle. Let's see, where's that guidebook? Oh, here we go. I love this one. It's so powerful and gentle. And we got Orchid. And Orchid is about not conforming at all, doing whatever you want, knowing that you are the way that you are because you were created that way because the world needs you, being unapologetic about your individuality, shining, being yourself, being confident, doing things different than the status quo, expressing yourself fully. This is you. The world needs you to do this. As you take this crazy journey, isn't it interesting how they kind of remind me of each other, these two? As you take this journey, you have to be you. It has to be uniquely you. And you have to be getting enough rest, making sure you're letting other people get enough rest, especially your masculine side. And you know that you are lighting a path, and you are also having your path lit by other people, and it is a time of change for you to request change. That said, you're going to be in the public eye, but you can do it gracefully and beautifully, and as you shine, you are also lighting the way for others. And then finally, your magic key. So this is a card from a deck that I like to pull from to give me little secret tricks for the journey. The Enchanted map. I love this deck. And it's the Wishing Well card. The Wishing Well card, which again is, now is not necessarily a time for the grind. Although, if you make sure you go slow and you stay mindful and you cross your T's and dot your I's, it will be like things are happening by magic. It's not about the hustle. Have you guys seen that meme that says alignment is the new hustle? I love that, and I think that it's true. Things are just coming up and coming up, but if you're not getting enough sleep to notice synchronicities, if you're not doing your inner work and allowing yourself to go into your dark places and admit what's going on, and if you're not unapologetically being yourself, then your blessings can't find you. So what this card is about is trusting the aha moments, and when you feel something coming to you, realize it's not yours. These ideas aren't any of ours. They belong to the whole thing. They belong to the universe, and we're just the conduits for them. We channel things through us to hopefully benefit our world. That's what we want. But now's not the time to grip or grab onto ideas. Now's time to make wishes, set intentions, do what you have to do and all, but don't get too grabby on anything, because the whole point is to let divine timing carry you and to let yourself trust. So, again, you're on a new journey. You're going through the dark places, which is wonderful because you're lighting the way and you are powerful. Now's the time for change. Make sure you get enough sleep. Be okay with shining all, but know that everyone sees a reflection of themselves. Be okay with being in the public eye. Shine your own light uniquely and unapologetically, and remember that you are a conduit for a greater thing. And so set your intentions and then be receptive to what the universe says. All right, guys, have a beautiful spring. If you want to see what I'm up to, go check out my website, charismalina.com, because I have a new mission, purpose, passion that I'm into right now. And I will see you again soon. Who knows? I'll be keeping you guys posted on what's going on in my life. Much, much, much love. Happy spring equinox. May this world be healed this year. May we be inspired. May we really anchor in a healed, delicious, beautiful, strong, genius planet in the best way that we can. It's time. It's time. We have been chosen to be here right now and to bring the best of who we are. So let's do that. All right, love you guys. Bye. Bye from California.